Ever since I qualified as a mental health nurse, I've been a member of the RCN, but I wasn't particularly active. It was only when I could see things that could be better around me that I thought, well, you know, who's looking after us nurses? And then it quickly dawned on myself that we need to look after each other. As well as being a mental health nurse, I was also a manual handling trainer. And so I would train staff from all across the health board, and they would come into the training room, and as well as learning the skills, they would also tell me about problems and issues that they were having. And I felt quite frustrated as a training provider that I could only do so much in the classroom. And so the role of a safety rep allowed me to take all of that information that I was gathering in my role as a manual handling trainer and as a nurse and do something about it. As a member of the RCN, the first thing I done was just go to my local branch meeting, which was great because there were lots of nurses from different areas of practice, so it was really interesting from that point of view. But also there was stewards there, safety reps, learning reps, and that's when I first discovered what the three roles were really, and if I wanted to become more active, then those were my three options. It's the role of my colleagues as stewards really to ensure that a lot of the issues that I was seeing around me were safety related, so the lack of opportunity to go to mandatory training, which for some people is boring, but for me, I wanted to know how to move patients safely. Other things just like the environmental areas, controlling the temperature, how do we manage with low staffing levels, how do I report that something's wrong and see that through to actually getting the problem solved. So safety reps seem to be the natural progression for me.
Health and safety is really important to me because I have seen the devastating impact of people who have been made ill, nurses who have been made ill by workplace stress, been made ill through being assaulted at work and having the psychological trauma that goes with that.
It's really tough out there and there's a lot of pressure and people are feeling quite stressed at work. So we are actively trying to recruit more safety reps because they've got such great value, and we want to do that not just in the NHS, we want to do that across the private sector as well, so that other employers get to benefit from the unique role that they bring and the unique things that they can do.
Catherine's really suited to the safety rep role, and that's partly because, like me, she's a bit of a process head. She's got a fantastic attention to detail, and she's got a commitment to see things through.
Dedication, by which I mean is that she sees things through.
She's a brilliant collaborative worker. At the same time, she's not somebody who's easily intimidated.
Independence in the concept of saying, whilst accepting that the advice that she's given, she may and does sort of say, well, I want to challenge that.
She works in collaboration across all other unions, so she works really closely with Unison as well, and she works very closely with the health board itself as well.
I always thought of Catherine in particular and her colleagues as well as the eyes and ears of the Health and Safety Committee on the ground, because there were so many important areas that they brought to our attention.
I think you have to have a little bit of an eye for detail. I think you have to be able to scrutinise things like employers' risk assessments, scrutinise policies around health and safety, and again be the eyes and the ears of the members and pick up things when you're doing your inspections.
I think it's important to have representation on the Health and Safety Committee, really from all stakeholders in the health board, and one of the most important stakeholders is the staff. We can't operate without the staff on board, without the staff being well and engaged. So it's vital that the unions play a role in the health board. It's vital they play a role in the Health and Safety Committee. And I think in all various areas of the health board, the unions are important.
So a typical day for me is a bit of office and out and about really. So office-wise, I would check emails, phone calls, answer individual queries from members about health and safety issues.
Hello, Catherine speaking.
Hi Catherine, it's Sam here. How are you?
Hiya Sam, I'm fine. How are you doing?
I wonder if you can help me. I'm just about to go back to the hospice. So previously I've worked within the NHS and I've seen the positive support of the RCN and the role of the safety rep being successfully implemented.
What we've done recently, myself and the staff side group, is...
So when Catherine heard that I was setting up my role of the safety rep in Marie Curie, Catherine took it upon herself to come over and thankfully was really eager to share the knowledge and expertise that she had, which I was really grateful for. Excellent, that's exactly what we're looking for. Aside from the peer support that I get from Catherine, I found the support that I get from RCN Wales extremely helpful. We often meet at a network meeting. In addition to this, I get the support of an officer, Louisa, who's based in RCN Wales, and this has proven really helpful for me. It's evident how much Marie Curie value me and my contributions as an RCN rep, because they're actually going out and looking to support their members more by recruiting into the role of a steward and learning rep.
I know you've got a load of cases going on at the moment. Anything I can help with from a health and safety point of view?
I probably would need a bit of advice regarding a member who's having problems getting equipment for bariatric patient.
I would also have a chat with the stewards about what cases they've got going on at the moment and then try and input with health and safety there.
We had some members in a day case unit that were informed by their senior nurse that they had to look after paediatrics. They were concerned with regards to safeguarding training and whether they had the equipment there that was relevant and the resources, staff-wise, that was relevant to look after children. Contacting Catherine made us realise that there was a specific risk assessment for that. It was a very detailed risk assessment, and actually they have to be put on a course to do it. They can't just go and shadow someone and say, after half a day of working with somebody, you'll be fine. But very much once Catherine got involved with that, and the risk assessment was done, it's there in black and white, it has to be adhered to.
No manager that I have ever met in my, 40 years as a health and safety advisor actually ever really wants to injure a person, but they can be challenged to put performance above safety. The shortcut that means that they'll get the job done quicker that time, but with some safety breaches. And we need to educate them and be involved in challenging them that small gain that time will be clearly outweighed if they lose in the long term.
And that's why it's so important that the staff provide us with the feedback as to what's going on a day-to-day basis, because we don't want to have to wait until an incident occurs before we actually do something about it.
Going out and doing workplace inspections is a big part of my role. So I would organise that with the local manager, arrange a convenient time, go on out, do the workplace inspection with them, depending on the size of the department, depends on how long that will take and also how many issues that they've got there. Put the sign up. This is a health and safety inspection poster that I ask all managers to put up before the inspection goes ahead. That's because it lets people know who I am, when I'm coming, and if they've got any health and safety concerns that they can contact me separately to the day. Not everyone feels able to bring issues to my attention in front of their manager.
Having been laboratory manager now for over 10 years, when the burden of the health and safety inspection was put upon my shoulders and there was going to be staff side representation, I found it quite threatening that, oh, here we go, I'm going to be in trouble because they're going to find this, that and the other. Whereas as time has passed and I've got more experience in the walk around health and safety inspections of the actual department, having someone with fresh eyes come in and you realise actually they're there to help you in collaborative working rather than trying to find fault in your management.
This again is typical technologist bench where they're carrying on making dentures in this section here. So
The environment is the environment, and they're only there to give you advice on what is going on and seeing it as it is, which is a great help as me as a manager trying to solve many of the health and safety issues.
And I try and speak to as many members and staff as possible when I go around, because that's where you get the true information. You know, they are there day in, day out, and they can tell me just like that what's wrong. So I use their knowledge.
Much more workspace would be useful for us. We haven't got a lot of storage space for our end at the moment.
I find having someone who is on the staff side representing the staff also working collaboratively with me is a great help, because not only does it help problem solving in collaboration, we sort of sort out many issues.
So you can see those shelves are already full, so there is a storage issue because that will be full next week with all the implant work, because the implant clinics are running today, so the work is out.
With ever-changing clinical demands and ever-changing technology, new health and safety situations can arise. For example, these wonderful bits of kit here, which are an ergonomic challenge because technicians use these bits of kit for a long time, which brings seating and repetitive strain injury into the equation. So it's good to have another sort of risk assessment done on all these new bits of kit to make sure that we are doing the best we can in the interest of the staff to make sure that we are following health and safety guidelines. If you've got employees who are working in a safe and a good environment for actually production, they're obviously a lot happier. They know it's a safe working environment. There's no moaning, there's no sort of trying to find fault. They know there's a proactive system in place. We're trying to get it right for the staff regarding health and safety in the environment. So therefore, a happier workforce is a more productive workforce, which means that the work, as far as I'm concerned, is of a higher standard, which is far better for patient outcomes.
Another area that takes up a lot of time are meetings. So there's lots of different meetings that I attend. Department-based meetings, if members need a little bit of extra support there. The way in which our health board works is each department then would feed up into a clinical board. So I attend as many clinical board meetings as possible. And then I also attend specialist health and safety meetings, so fire, personal safety, operational group. And I'm a member of the Health and Safety Committee, which reports to the board, so I would attend that as well. I also try and get involved in health and wellbeing groups.
I think the trade union rep has a key role because they are the, to a certain extent, they can be the eyes and ears of the organisation. And the important thing is to act to act constructively and work together, because everybody wants the board to succeed and do well. I think the role of the health and safety rep, the role of the unions, is absolutely critical in that. And if we can all be constructive and work together, that is how it should work.
Health and safety is too important of an issue to have any inter-union rivalries.
Health and safety is a prime concern. It's not just something else. We'll deal with that when we've got 5 minutes.
And I think that we've done an amazing job of setting a monthly meeting where we're all getting together, where actually we're all on the same page, working towards the same goal and working well together.
But when you're trying to get together, well, half a dozen unions, you're not. It's not going to be, sweetness and light, because everyone's got their own agenda and everyone's trying to achieve everything else, and it's one-upmanship,
And I think what cemented that partnership working amongst ourselves was agreeing to the workplace inspection form.
Yeah.
Because every union, professional organisation will have a different workplace inspection form. We've got one that we all use, and it's the same.
Yeah.
So then when we're collating in all of those inspections, we know that everything's the same. We know where the problems are. Is it a pattern developing in mental health, for example, or in offices? That, for me, was a real achievement.
It was a really good year.
In terms of encouraging safety reps into the role, I think there is a fear that they're getting into something that they don't know. Well, actually, they're being appointed because they have all that base knowledge. What is competence? Competence is defined as knowledge, skills, and experience. And they have wealth of experience that they can bring into the role that somebody with knowledge may not have.
So I say where you've got active safety reps like Catherine, you will have fewer accidents because Catherine and other safety reps will be the eyes and ears of the workforce. We'll be picking up incidents and near misses before they occur, and that can save further down the line employers and organisations a lot of money because you won't have people having accidents, you won't have people going off sick, reducing money on agency spend, and then potentially reducing money on things like litigation as well, personal injury cases.
Because it reflected the reality of the situation. It was the first time that we run a reps session as part of the RCN staff induction programme, so I just wanted to get your feedback really on how you thought that little half an hour session went.
I thought it was really great, and as far as telling us about what the reps did, I was really surprised at the range and breadth of things that reps do.
And so that's why we done that quiz for everyone to discover what type of rep they would end up as, and you end up with safety.
I did as a health and safety rep.
And actually safety reps are the smallest group that are represented.
Yeah.
Why do you think there was only a couple of you that were interested in that role then?
I think it's because of the legislation that surrounds health and safety. I think people will shy away from that. I think they don't want to know about it because they don't want to think that they might have to take responsibility for other people's health and safety. But my understanding is that that isn't the case with a health and safety rep. You've got no more responsibility for other people's health and safety than you have as any other employee. You don't have a legal responsibility in the same way that a manager would. Health and safety reps advise and collate information about health and safety issues, but they're not ultimately responsible for the health and safety of their team.
Absolutely, and it's not just the safety aspect, it's the health of employees.
That's right. Particularly important for nurses. If they're taking care of other people, they need to take care of themselves as well. So the importance of their health and well-being can't be overstated. You can't look after other people if you can't look after yourself.
As the world of work has evolved and changed, we're now looking more at health, and we know that issues like stress and musculoskeletal disorders are the main cause of sickness absence in the general workforce, but also in the nursing workforce as well. So even though we talk about safety, what we're really talking about is health, safety and well-being of the nursing workforce.
And I think it's important to know that as a member of the RCN, it's up to us to get more involved and to support each other. It's a membership-led organisation. I think when I first became a member, I didn't realise that. I just thought you'd sign up just in case something went wrong and then someone would appear from somewhere and support you. I didn't actually realise that as a member, I should step up and get a little bit more involved, because the more members that are involved, the stronger the network of support that's available. I also get involved in campaigns that the RCN have got going on. So recently there was the Scrap the Cap campaign, and the health and safety input to that would be if the cap wasn't scrapped, then that would defer people from going into nursing, more people are leaving nursing, then that would have an impact on reduced numbers on the ward and patient safety and care.
Well, there's nothing more important than the clinical safety of your community. I live in Cardiff and the Vale, so I'm at clinical safety of myself, my family, my children, my parents. That is hugely important, and so to be able to play a part, no matter how small, in the direction and the running of the health board is a huge privilege.
It's about empowering nurses. You ask a nurse to walk into a ward and tell you their gut feeling about whether it's safe or not, and they'll be able to tell you. Ward sisters know what they need and what they require. We've worked really hard to make sure that this legislation empowers that clinical voice.
Being a RCN health and safety rep has given me the opportunity to step outside my department and to see the organisation I work for in a bigger picture, and that helps me personally and professionally. It builds my knowledge base. When I see a member who's going through a difficult time, I want to do as much as I can to support them through that. And whatever part I play, small as it may be, providing a little bit of evidence, then I get a huge amount of job satisfaction from knowing that I played a part in making someone in the nursing family's life a little bit easier, because they do such a fantastic job looking after the general public. I want to do a little bit to help look after them.